Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, we've got exciting news. Falling in line with the normal kind of summoning pattern we've got right now. We've got a ×2 Void summoning event over New Year. So it's running from the 31st of December, which is Thursday, through till the 4th of January. So it's going to be ×2 chance to summon your Void champions. And that's going to be ×2 chance of epics and legendaries. And within that same period of time, there's actually going to be a 10 times chance to pull Tormin. So it looks like the way they're going to do it is from the Thursday to the Saturday is going to be just a straight ×2 and ×10 chance for Tormin. And then for those that don't care about Tormin, on the 3rd and the 4th, so the Sunday, Monday, it's going to be a straight normal ×2. Personally, I'm going to save until the ×2 because I've already got Tormin. But if you don't have him, he is pretty good. So for the rest of this video, what I'm actually going to do is rate my top 3 champions, Voids, for each area of the game. Legendaries, epics, and rares. So it's a big one, guys, but a lot of you aren't going to pull the big legendary, so you're going to want to know if you've got one of the top tier champions. And if you do pull a champion and you just kind of want a feel for how good are they, you can come to hellhades.com. We've got a new article up actually about the Tormin event anyway, but you can go into the champion tier list, scroll for the champion you want. Let's say you pull a Doomscreech, and then you can just click on them and you'll get like my in-depth guide around what I think. It's my views, doesn't mean it's the only views. Also, there's masteries in there. You don't have to blind copy masteries. You can actually think for yourself as well. Okay, so let's do this. We're going to start with Clan Boss. Top 3 legendaries, in my opinion, for Clan Boss are, and actually Voids for Clan Boss, there's not that many strong ones. Voids is the one area for Clan Boss is the one area where Voids kind of miss out compared to a lot of other affinities. So number 1 for me is going to be big boy Krisk. He's part of the world record team right now, which Scratch run. And basically that is the same team that I run, apart from Krisk comes in instead of Sandlashed, and Scratch has hit 150 million with this big boy. He is awesome for Clan Boss because of the increased defense and the increased speed for your team, and because of the ally protect. Massive beast of a champion. He comes in number 1. Number 2 for me is going to be, she's going to appear a little bit today. Oh, what am I doing? She's going to appear a bit. Sifi, she's not going to appear everywhere though. Sifi has got increased speed, increased defense, block debuffs, tons of stuff that you want on your champion. She's got a revive. She's a bit more difficult to speed tune if you're going speed tuning, but she is top tier in the Clan Boss. And then the next one we have got on the list, my first Void Legendary champion I ever got, Warlord. Absolute beast. He's got the debuff extender A1. He's got block debuffs, shield, and heal on an A2 on a 3-turn cooldown, which is perfect to avoid that stun. He is a beast in Clan Boss. And then the last one, that is the last one. So let's go on to the epics then. Now, I can't possibly call out the epics without picking out Maneater. Like, it's everyone's favorite epic for Clan Boss. He basically changes the game. If you get 2 of them, then you're running simple noob style Clan Boss where you're always going to be doing like 3 key minimum Ultra Nightmare. So double Maneater is the way to do it, and he's an absolute beast. I actually really like, for my second one, to go into that style comp, Ragnar Gold Gleam. New champion, and I'm going to be doing a guide on him within the next few days. He's got a leech A1. So his base defense is really low, okay? But he does bring his self-shielding to kind of counter some of that. But yeah, good leech ability on his A1. I think, though, he would be better in unkillable teams. But if he does go into unkillable teams, he might be tricky to speed tune. That's something I've not played around with yet. But he's got decreased defense and weaken on his A3. And he gets that back more often. Did he get that one back? Yeah, he gets that one back more often because of his passive. So yeah, so I'm keen to see what sort of damage he can do. I think there'll be a place for him in Clan Boss, certainly with these big swings, big hits that he can do. So the last one for me is going to be a Demon Spawn, and it's going to be Padma. Padma one of the most consistent decrease attack champions in the game. She can run all affinity clan bosses, so absolutely awesome for that. She's got a remove buffs as well. She hits hard, good base speed, great base defense, really solid clan boss champ. So let's go on to the rares then. In terms of rares, number one, because again of the cheesy style clan boss team you can run with Painkeeper and Maneater together, she's got to be up there as one of the best. Basically enables a 3-key Ultra Nightmare clan boss team with a bunch of rares and one Maneater. So she's got to be up there as one of the best. Next one up for a more traditional style clan boss setup is going to be Bulwark. Bulwark has got that kind of debuff extension through his passive. So every time he takes a hit, you've got a chance to extend your debuffs on the opponents. You've got a weaken, you've got an HP burn. He's got a defense in all battles aura. Really, he's just like out and out a clan boss champion and really, really good for it. And then the last one for me is going to be good old Reliquary Tender popping up. Decrease attack A1. She's got heals and remove all debuffs at A2. So you can actually tune her to remove the stun or remove the kind of debuffs from like a decreased speed if it's on the spirit affinity. And she's got a revive ability. So for an earlier game into mid-game clan boss, Reliquary Tender is actually really, really solid. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on to Spider. Spider, we're going to go first with the legendary champs. And absolute number one for me, Sir Nick, smacks those spiderlings like crazy, throws up a massive shield with his A2. One of the best in the game for this. It's got an unkillable. It's got continuous heal as well. Freeze on his A1, which doesn't kick off on Spider, but still absolutely kind of top tier legendary for Spider. Second up on the list, actually same faction, is Venus. So Venus brings AoE, decreased defense, and weaken, which makes her like real top tier. You do need to book that up. She also brings an HP burn, which again is kind of top tier for Spider. So 2 ways to kind of trouble your Spider. Crazy base speed. She's got poisons as well. Really, really good Spider champion. And then the last one I'm going to throw in the mix here, there could have been a few, to be honest. There's a few that could step up, but the boy who's on the ×10 and ×2 together, Tormin, is actually awesome for Spider. So he brings an AoE provoke. He brings a freeze chance on his A1, which if you pair him with someone else that's got HP burn and the potential to freeze together, damn, you can actually kick out some crazy amount of freeze AoEs with his A1. Massive base defense, can be really strong as a tank for you. So yeah, really, really worthwhile in Spider. If we get onto the epics then, I think some of these epics are probably better than the legendaries for me. So the first one on my list is going to be Sylar. I kind of slept on Sylar for a long time. She's nutty. She's just like crazy, crazy good for Spider. This ability here, 4-turn cooldown if booked, decrease speed on all enemies and decrease turn meter on all enemies. You throw in her an HP burn comp, she's insane. Put her in stun gear, her other 2 abilities stun. She's got decreased accuracy as well on her A2. All of these things are top tier for Spider. So Sylar coming in on Spider for top 3. Second spot is going to be someone that we've already spoken about. I think I've not tried him there yet, but the fact that he's got decreased defense and weaken on a 4-turn cooldown, which also reduces the cooldown again, I think has got to be good. Leech on his A1 as well. Just means that whoever's coming into the team for you, it's your chance to get more damage out. So it's got to be there for me. Looks really solid, that guy. If we are then looking at a third, I think a third for me goes to Mr. Clan Boss, Maneater, but you have to click the Spider to activate him properly. So here's A2, fully deplete target's turn meter, and then he steals it. The block debuffs, unkillable, both really strong. Decrease attack on an AoE. Really, really strong Spider champion, but he doesn't A2 unless you click the Spider, and I'm hoping they're going to change that in these AoE fixes that are coming up. Okay, so let's get into the rares then. So for the first rare, it's going to be the one and only Coldheart. You can't not pull Coldheart out of this list. She's easily the best. She's endgame quality, decreased turn meter, and max HP hits on her A3. The rest of the abilities are kind of good for Spider, but not great. It's all about the A3. and she's insane because of it. The second one's actually in the same faction, Paradon. I can't talk about Spider without talking about the Paradon cheese. And this fella can basically carry the whole of the Spider fight on his shoulders. Certainly up to like stage 19 before you find yourself your right team. So if you don't know what the Paradon cheese is yet, type the Paradon cheese into YouTube and you'll find my video. It's insane. He can basically tank all of the Spiderlings. And then the last one, actually another one of the new rares. These new rares are coming up and looking really, really strong. I think she's a Bannerlord. Yeah, Dagger. So Dagger brings you an AoE decreased defense. She's also got a small decreased turn meter on her A1, double hits. And she's got a decreased attack on her A3. So good speed, good attack, AoE decreased defense chance, 75%. I think she's actually really solid for this. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing a guide with her once I get her leveled up as well. So that's Dagger. Let's move on then to Dragon. So Dragon, onto the big boys again. Again, like Ethos is just going to feature a fair amount because he's insane. He can smash his way through waves. Like waves do not matter to him. He just KOs them like they're gone. So Ethos has got to come in, AoE hits all over the place, smacking tons of damage. So he'll get you through those waves really easy. We've got Venus coming in again. Venus for the same reason, AoE decrease defense and weaken. Also poison for the main dragon. AoE HP burn, you cannot miss her out for this one. And then the last one is going to be big boy again, Krisk. Krisk is like your carry. AoE hits on all abilities, decreased speed, provokes. He's mainly there for the waves. It's not so much for the actual dragon, but everything he does have a decreased defense and attack when he gets hit as well. So that will apply to the dragon when he gets onto that section. He'll give you a shield at the start of each of the rounds. It's just bonkers, really. And for dragon, he's got to be in their top 3. Okay, if we talk about epics then. First time we're pulling out Seer. Seer for waves. She is in some of the fastest teams out there for Dragon. If you pair her properly with someone with a bunch of buffs, she would kill every wave so fast. It's insane. And it's all about her A3, Karma Burn. So you just want to cycle back to this as quickly as you can. If we then look at the next one. So for me, Sky Touched. Sky Touched is brilliant for a lot of different dungeons actually, but especially for Dragon. She's got a cleanse ability here, so removes all debuffs. So when that dragon's laying out all of those poisons, weakens, all that sort of stuff, she can throw out the cleanse and then replace it with block debuffs, which is fantastic. She's got a passive heal, and she's got an AoE ability on her A1. So all of her kit is actually brilliant for Dragon. And then for me, the last of the epics is going to be Skullcrown. So Skullcrown, AoE damage all the way through. She's really there to nuke the waves and get you to the boss really fast. She's got an unkillable passive, which gives you a better chance of staying alive. She double hits if someone's high health. So against the dragon, she will get some big damage off, but it's mainly to get you to the dragon. And then you put your poisoner in there, your frozen banshee or whoever, but she will get you there much easier. So she's number 3. Let's get into the rares then. So rares, we've got a similar kind of setup really to what I've just said there with Skullcrown. We've got Bellower. Now Bellower is awesome. AoE block cooldown skills, AoE decrease speed, AoE decrease attack and defense, all AoE abilities. Put him in a stun set. He'll be locking out your enemies. Really strong to do any of the wave control. And then when you get to the dragon, the decreased attack and defense is kind of nice as well. So he's the first on the list. Second on the list is actually going to be Coldheart again. So Coldheart is she's basically there because of the Heartseeker for the main dragon, but also decreased accuracy, poison is really nice as well in terms of just getting some extra damage out and giving you a chance to not take all of those debuffs on the main dragon. AoE damage on the waves as well. Just generally a solid champion. So the last rare for me is actually all about that kind of speed farm. So Renegade resets cooldowns of your better champions. So Renegade's got this A3, decreases the cooldown of ally skills by 2. She's actually great for any dungeon, but especially for Dragon when you're trying to get those cooldowns rotating back, really strong. She's also got a decreased accuracy on her A2 as well, which is kind of nice on the Dragon. So really strong champion for that. Okay, let's move on to Ice Golem. Ice Golem, and we'll start again with the legendaries. Ethos comes in again, absolutely insane for this. Krisk comes in again, mental for this. And then we've actually got the new Void legendary. I did a guide on this guy the other day. Nekret the Great. This guy is immense. He could easily have featured in some of the other slots already. Decrease attack A1, triple hit, can't be resisted. He's got ally attack on his A2. He's got ally protection and a whole bunch of buffs on his A3. A passive that puts it out there as well. And then he's also got a shield ability on a passive as well. Crazy base defense. For the Ice Golem, you kind of want consistent damage and team protection. And this guy brings it all. So he's in there top 3 for Ice Golem. If we're then looking at the epics, so Seer's coming in again for that wave clear and crazy damage on the boss. We've got Sylar coming in again for decreased speed, turn meter, and accuracy. And then the third one for me is actually going to be Umbral. So the main reason she's here is actually for that second wave on level 20. So she can either block their buffs so that when they do their Screech ability, you don't get that reflect damage up, or she can just straight out provoke them so that they're not able to do that. They're just going to do A1s. She's insane for that. She's also just a kind of good defensive damage dealer, protector for your team. So she comes in as the third epic for Ice Golem. Onto the rares then. So I've already spoken about her once. Reliquary Tender comes in. The ability to revive your team. The ability to heal when you're taking all that damage. She's excellent for that dungeon. Also the ability to cleanse. The cleanse is really strong. We've then got one of the newer champions in the game, Dildril. So Dildril gives us a decreased defense ability. It brings an AoE decreased accuracy ability, which is fantastic for Ice Golem. You don't want to take those freezes. And he also brings a single target decreased speed, which is great for Ice Golem as well. So Dildril comes in as one of the top 3. And the last one, I'm trying to read what I've written, and I cannot. Oh yeah, the new fella. He's actually a dwarf as well. Kurzad. So Kurzad, AoE, increased accuracy for you, decreased defense for them. Turn meter fill on his A2, and decreased speed on his A3. And then the last of the rares for me to come in on this section for Ice Golem is Draconis. So Draconis, little heal here, nice shield ability on his A2, and a cleanse ability and heal on his A3. Just to keep your team alive. So he's not going to be a damage dealer. He's going to be the guy that keeps you alive. Good base stats for a rare. So he's going to come in as my third spot for Ice Golem. So let's move on to Fire Knights then, guys. For Fire Knights, the first on the list, he's actually an orc. Angar. So Angar comes in. He brings full team reflect damage, which will give you 5 straight out hits on the shield when the Fire Knight hits you. He's got Provoke for the waves, and he's got a double hit on his A1 for breaking that shield. So it also places an extra hit if the enemy's got Provoke. That won't work on the shield, but it will help you with the waves. Generally just strong, mainly because of this reflect damage and counter-attack as well. So what he does is he's going to reflect the damage for your whole team. Plus, when he gets hit, he hits again. So you're getting actually 7 hits of that shield down with one champion. It's kind of nuts. So he's first on the list. Second on the list is going to be Venus. She's always in my teams for Fire Knight. She's just insane for this as well. And then the last one on the list, someone new, Prutraxa. So in terms of getting your fastest possible Fire Knight runs out, Prutraxa's got to be in the team. She's actually crazy. She's got 4-hitter A1, A1 and an extra turn on her A2 with an extra turn as well. So she gets back to the A1. Just crazy amounts of damage coming out of her as well. She'll be in some of the fastest Fire Knight teams I've ever seen. So she's got to be up there as top tier. So for the epics, Seer comes in again, crazy wave clear. She can't not be in that team. But we do have, actually, in the same faction, 2-hack coming into this section. So double hit on his A1, which is just nice. He's got an decreased speed and increased speed on himself on his A2, which again is nice for Fire Knights. And then he's also got Steel's turn meter on his A3, which is brilliant for Fire Knights. So awesome champion as well. He hits hard. He'll get you through those waves really well. He's got stuns for the waves. Yeah, just generally strong champion for Fire Knights. I really like this guy. He's good in the arena as well. So he's the second one up. And then the third one, we've not seen him yet. What is he? Sacred Order. Lightsworn. Lightsworn's actually a quality champion as well. Triple hit A1 with decreased turn meter. Decreased speed and attack on his A2. And increased defense and revive on his A3. Great base stats. Lightsworn comes in as number 3 for Fire Knight. In terms of rares, again, here she is. Coldheart, Mrs. Endgame. So she comes in as my first. I've told you why already. It's that Heartseeker. Heartseeker's such a crazy ability. She's got to be in there. We do have a new one, though, for this group. He's not there. Where is he? Where is he? Here. Fellhound. Let's get closer. Fellhound. He's there. Similar reason to Angar, really. He's got reflect damage and heal on his A2. Goes on you for 2 turns. Basically, you're reflecting tons of that shield hits back when you take a hit. So everyone reflects 1 hit. So you get 5 notches off the shield straight away. You've got AoE damage and decreased speed on an A1. Block damage on an A3 as well. It will always go on your leader if you're playing this on auto. Just bear that in mind. But really solid rare for Fire Knights. And then the last one is actually going to be my Dwarf, Dildal coming in again. Decreased defense, decreased speed, decreased accuracy. All great abilities for Fire Knight. Okay, let's go into Campaign Farmer. Number 1, Ethos. Can't be beaten. He's number 1 in the game for me. Number 2, Sir Nick. Slamming his way through to number 2. His A2 is actually on a 3-turn cooldown, so you do have to cycle through it. And he does prioritize this A3 a bit, but he'll clear waves super fast. And there's not that many Void Legendaries that are actually kind of worthy of being campaign farmers. And number 3 is Krisk. So again, all AoE abilities. He's probably number 2, actually. All AoE abilities. He will get you through even Nightmare Campaign. So will Ethos. So those two together are kind of the best ones. So Nick comes in behind that. In terms of epics, we've got Skullcrown coming up again. Where is she? There she is. Skullcrown. One of the best campaign farmers in the game. AoE abilities on all hits. Just get a fast or get a high damage. Check out my video, how to build a campaign farmer to farm in 7 seconds and build her the same. Basically, that's how you want to do it. And then we've got other epics. A couple that I mentioned before. So 2-hack comes in, a lot of AoE damage on his A2. And he gets turn meter feel and stuns and stuff. So he just kind of comes in as a big hitter. As a decent, not great, but decent campaign farmer. And Sylar is kind of the same. Not amazing, but decent. Put her in hard-hitting gear and should be able to do the job for you. All AoE abilities on her kits. In terms of rares, I've only highlighted one. I don't feel like anyone else kind of fits the bill. But Bellower is one of the best. He can be your endgame campaign farmer, no problem. He can't do Nightmare, but he can do Brutal, no problem at all. All AoE abilities. He is the one who features in my how to build a 7-second campaign farmer. So let's go Arena then. So for Arena, I've actually picked out 5 because there's so many good champions for Arena. But absolute number 1 has got to be Arbiter. She features in probably like 99% of endgame teams for offense. And then similarly, if people have got her, Siphi features as well. So Siphi's got increased speed, increased defense, block debuffs, irresistible A1 sleep and revive like crazy. She's as strong in arena defense as offense. She's crazy good, like nuts. Tormin does come in the mix here. Really annoying to face. You have to build teams that can deal with him. He freezes on his passive, and the passive is the most annoying thing in the world. So anytime someone feels turn meter or places a buff, there's a chance they're going to get frozen. Really, really annoying. Can't go through this list without talking about the unique arena champion, Hedgie. Don't have him yet. I'd love to pull him in this ×2. Basically, he always goes first. His passive says, I always go first unless there's another Hedgie, and then it's whoever's fastest. And then on his ability that he uses when he goes first, he decreases your attack, and he can put block cooldown steals on you. 50% chance. That's insane. Like, half of your team are going to be locked out from the start. If you build him with high damage, he can just blow up teams as well. Crazy, crazy arena champ. And then in terms of a couple of other ones to call out in this section, we've got Raglin, who I recently got. Crazy arena defense champion. 2-turn revive, and revives them with full turn meter. Nuts. Cleanse. Build a high resistance. She's really strong. And there is also the new Undead again. So Nekrat. Really, really strong Void champion for the arena. So just the fact that he puts Strengthen, Ally Protect, and block debuffs on 2 champions right from the start means that you're going to be really hard to kill. More of an arena defense than an offense, I would say. Let's go into the epics then. Absolute top tier, probably the best arena champion in the game, Madame Cerise. So she's got the full cleanse, drops defense and attack on her A3. Basically, she sets up anyone to nuke a team down. Absolutely brilliant. She's also got a cool passive where she gets shields and fears out there. Fear on her A1 and a chance to steal buffs on her A2. She's top tier for the arena. Sylar as well comes in top 5. All of that turn meter control sets up your nukers. She's insane as well. Someone that we've not mentioned yet comes into this section. And that is going to be my boy Basher. He's also great for faction wars, but for the arena, the ability to lock out your opponent's steals for 2 turns just makes the enemy basically come at you with A1s all the time. If you get this off, then you shouldn't lose the fight. So Basher comes in that top 3. And there's a few others which I'm just going to call out. So 2-Hack, we've already mentioned. Great for the arena as well. And Skull Crown, top tier for the arena, right from early game to end game. She's just bonkers, mainly because she can't be killed and she's got tons of damage. So she's really annoying to fight. And then the last one I'm just going to call out as well is Umbral. Umbral, because of her AoE provoke, 100% chance to land if you book it. Because of her block buffs ability, she's so strong in the arena as your go second champion. Okay, let's talk about some rares then. So rares for this section, we have got Paragon. Kind of weird one to call out, but the unkillable buff on one of your team is annoying to deal with. Triple hit, decrease attack. He's kind of more like a meme setup, rare, but kind of still good, not bad. We've spoken about him already as well. Bellower comes in here. AoE abilities, really strong champion. Got to be in the rare category. The new Void Dwarf, Kurzad, also really strong in the arena, especially if you're like new player, like up to mid game. And beginner to mid game, really strong because he just buffs your accuracy on your whole team. Plus he hits hard, so he's actually pretty good in the arena. Someone that we've not mentioned yet that comes up in this spot for arena is also Haruspex. So he's got increased speed in arena aura. He increases your turn meter and puts an increased speed buff on you. So he's more like an early game champion, but for early game he's actually nuts for the arena. Really strong. And last one then, just to call out, is Dagger. So we spoke about it before, mainly because of his AoE decreased defense. And yeah, that's mainly it. AoE decreased defense sets up your damage. She's not as good as like a War Maiden, but in terms of for a Void champion, if you're going to be building her for other stuff, you can definitely bring her into the arena as well. Okay, let's get into the last section then, which is going to be Doom Tower. Doom Tower, it's funny, Doom Tower changes the further you get in, but right the way along, Sifi is going to be absolutely broken. She's going to help your teams speed up. She's going to protect you from the damage of the waves and all of the debuffs coming at you. And you can just sleep someone on point. So she's going to be really strong there. We've also got early game, Ethos is immense. Later game, Ethos falls off. So early game definitely comes into your teams. Late game falls off. Krisk will be there all the way through with his damage, with his protection, with his provokes. He's got to be a top 3. And I also think for the waves, Tormin kind of comes in clutch as well. So if you don't have one and you're thinking about whether you should pull shards or not for this event, firstly, yes, you should because it's 2 times. But if you don't have a Tormin, it's not a bad idea to pull in the front section for me. I think he's great. Onto the epics then. This is literally the best epic in the game for Doom Tower. For wave progression, not for bosses, for waves. Seer, literally every endgame player up until maybe floor 105 or something was using Seer to speed farm their way through. And all of my best times came when I had Seer in my team. She is crazy. There's so many buffs that you're up against that she rips all the enemy buffs off and you keep going. She's mental. I kind of popped in there a minute ago. Madame Cerise, for the same sort of reason, but you don't get the damage with her. But ripping those buffs off is so good when you're trying to deal with these hard waves in Doom Tower. So she comes in as my number 2. And then Sylar comes in again. So similar champions here for similar reasons. Mainly, if you put her in a stun set, she's got loads of control for you. And she'll help you get through. And then in terms of rares, we've spoken about Cold Heart a bunch today. She comes in here. She's in a bunch of boss teams as well as good for waves. Mainly with that A3 again. Kurzad does come in here with his increased accuracy. The Doom Tower waves have really high resistance. So he comes in as a viable option for kind of wave, dealing with those waves. And then Bellower comes in again with that stun set to keep you moving. Whew, guys, that is going to be that. Good luck if you're pulling shards over that kind of New Year period. I'm definitely going to be... I've got a chunk saved up. So I am going to be out looking for... Really, I want that new Void Legendary Necret. But I'd love to see a Hedgie as well. Leave me a comment below, guys. Anyone I've missed that you would have added into those top 3s. I've been Hell Hades. I'll catch you later.